Hey, YouTube. Peace, love, and light. All right. First, I'd like to always thank you guys for coming in and spending a little bit of your time with me because I know that you didn't have to. So for that, I am truly, truly humbled. All right. Today, I wanted to talk about something that I've noticed. Like when they're talking about like diet fads and all this other stuff like this. And one thing that I do notice, and it doesn't even take a diet. I wasn't dieting. I didn't do anything but change how I thought. I was a comfort eater. I was a stress eater. When I'm stressed out or angry or anxious, those are my coping mechanisms: alcohol, sugar, sugar and alcohol. Those were my things I gravitate to. And as I've been on my little journey and I've made peace in my soul and in my spirit, I don't drink like that anymore. I drink when I come home for the most part. But, that's what, once every 2 months, I might have a couple of cocktails for one day. And that's what I'm reduced to now. Because I found other ways to make myself happier, other ways to get rid of the negativity. My thing is like meditation. I'm always in meditation. I'm always in thought. I'm always being conscious of what's going on in here. You know, it's sort of like I'm obsessed with it. If I have a negative feeling, I'm very quick to go and address it. Before, I used to let things, sit, throw them in the back of your head. You forget about it, but what happens is they come back. And then next thing you know, it's manifesting itself out in alcoholism, drug abuse, overeating, sex addictions, anger, anxiety, mental illnesses. They manifest itself because you haven't dealt with it. So now I am so OCD when it comes to what is going on here. So, it's a lifelong change. I mean, it's not anything that I can, that's going to be like, you're fixed and you're cured. I think that when you're dealing with your emotions, I think that's like a lifelong commitment. So if I feel myself pedaling backwards to, your childhood or, your past and bad things that may have happened, I'm real quick to say, what's triggering that? What's bringing all of that back up? You've resolved all of that. You've resolved and forgave and moved on from that. So why are we here now? What's triggering it? You know? And then I'd be like, okay, well, it's not that. So let's not go back into that. Right now, you just pissed off at this one situation right here. And acknowledge it. Acknowledge your feelings for it. And let it go. And that works, because one thing that I had to really learn to do was to really love myself before anything and everybody. Because if I can't love myself, I can't be a good mother to my children. I cannot be a good grandmother to my grandchildren. I cannot be a good sister. I cannot be a good friend. And a good auntie. I can't be a good nobody to nobody if I don't get me in check first. So it's easy, people, they would get caught up in all of the feelings and all of the negativity. But when you really love yourself and it doesn't matter anymore, because before, when you're not in check, when people say things to you, I get called out my name all the time. Come on now, shippers, they don't like you. I get called all kinds of little names. So it don't bother me, but I couldn't be out in this field and I couldn't be running around in this earth by myself. You know what I'm saying? If I was worrying so much about how everybody else was going to perceive me. So I have to learn that the only thing that matters is me and how I feel about myself. And after I can master that, nothing else matters anymore. Nobody can put their negativity, their bad energy, their self-loathing, their self-sabotaging, their, self-anger on me, because I don't have it in my heart. I don't have it in my body. I don't have it in my spirit. And it's when you like really got control over that, man, you'd be amazed at how your body and how your mind works so much differently than it used to. Because before, like, somebody say, hey, you be this and that, you be that, before you be like, what? They called me a B. You all in here over a word. A word. That's all it is a word. That word don't mean nothing. That word didn't define me. Because when they say that, I think queen. I mean, you're a queen. Thank you. Oh my God. I really think I am. That's how my mind works. I hear it, but the way that my mind processes it is just so different. It's so different. And it takes a long time to be able to do that, where it doesn't bother you. People, they're worried about my color, and then I look at the looks on their face and I'd be like, oh, you must not be used to seeing all of this. This bothers you? I think it's beautiful. I love that I can go deep shades of red in the summer and then go pale in the winter. Come on, look at that. Who can do that? I do. I can. And it's okay. It's all right. I don't mind. It don't bother me. But yeah. It's different when you're self-loving on yourself. It's like little things like words and other people. You it's like, they have that saying where they say game recognizes game. Yeah, well, when you're emotionally like stable and you're loving on yourself, you recognize unstable emotions, and you take it at that. You don't take it as personal. You look at it, and I honestly, I feel sorry. I want to fix them. I want to be like, let me help you get here. It is so much easier and so much better, and life is just so much healthier on this side of the fence when you really master and understand this. But a lot of people, they're just not there, and they want to bask in their anger and in their self-negativity and stuff like that, and they like to throw it. But if you're not strong, the only ones that it affects is those that are not strong. If you're not strong and you don't know and you don't have that self-worth and that you've done that work where you're really solid in who you are, then yeah, it will affect you. But for people that are really solid on who they are, I'm just gonna be looking at you like you lost it, And I'm just sitting here, and it's just like watching a 2-year-old just having a heart attack here, just throwing themselves all on the floor, having a tantrum because they couldn't get a piece of candy. That's what it feel like. That when I watch people go through those kind of emotions, that's what it looks like to me. It looks like a little 2-year-old on the floor because mommy said no, they could not have a piece of candy, and they're having a tantrum. And it's sad because you're looking like, but you're grown. Why are we doing this? And why are you reacting like this? Why can't we use our words? And why can't we keep respect? And why can't we just have a conversation? There's no right, there's no wrong, there's no villains. It's just victims. That's all. And a lot of people like to do that. They like to make villains, out of everything. Oh, the shipper was this. Oh, the thing was that. And there's all of these villains. But there are no villains. It's just victims. It's victims of circumstances. That's all it is. Everything's a victim of a circumstance. We're all victims. So it's okay. It's all right. We don't have to bow down to it, and we don't have to let it define us. It is what it is. So if we have to wait a little longer at a shipper to get our load, hell, last load I had, let me see, they had me there at 8 o'clock. I drove the whole entire night to get there because they were all on me about making sure I get to that live load because I had a double live load. So I got to my first one. I drove all night. I got to the second one an hour before schedule just to get there and find out that the load the load wasn't supposed to be. They don't even load in the daytime. They don't load until after 4 o'clock p.m. and my appointment time was for 8 o'clock p.m. So I called them and I was like, hey, I'm here. They're saying, I'm like 13 hours ahead of schedule. But I wasn't going to be mad about it. I couldn't be mad. Why was I going to be mad about it? What was I going to be mad about? Was like, what in the world was going to change? Was I going to make somebody come and load my truck up? No. Nope. They looked at me and they said, well, you're not going to have any time. You're true. And I wasn't allowed to sit at the shipper for the next 13 hours. And I was due for some home time. So I was like, I had other loads right behind me. And so we just relayed it. It is what it is. It's all part of the game. It's all part of what it is, They paid me for the work I did. They paid me for having to take the trailer to where they wanted me to. And that's all I can ask for. Move on to the next situation. So it's like, a lot of people, they get angry at that. I mean, I wasn't the only one out there. This dude was losing his mind. And he was like trying to draw me in. I'm like, really? He was, this is some bullshit, blah, blah, blah. And I'm looking like, I just called. Hey, y'all might want to check that again because this is what we're being told. And when she confirmed, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. And I was like, okay, well, what do you want me to do with it? Because I need to keep going. While he's still sitting there arguing and cussing and kicking and trying to demand that they're going to put something on his trailer, blah, blah. Because I guess he was on his way home. So if he didn't get that, he got stuck in the fact that how was he going to get home? Me, I was in the same predicament because I was just going to go home for a 10-hour reset and then I was coming back out. But I just got home. I've been bobtailed home. Oh well, I dropped it. I dropped it where they wanted me to. I bobtailed home. And once I bobtailed home, oh well, you know what? I'm just gonna sit here. So I took everything else off my back for the weekend, and that was it. Now today's Monday. I'm prepping. I cleaned out my truck, and I'm washing my clothes and everything like that, and get myself ready for this week. And I'm more relaxed and more refreshed and rejuvenated and ready to go. I'm like, nope, not gonna go into all that negativity, So just remember that, you guys, just take it one day at a time. Take a breath. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. It gets better. And some days it gets better. Some days it ain't. It ain't perfect. This is an imperfect world. Ain't nothing we can change about it. It's imperfect. Stuff will go your way for the most part, and sometimes they won't. So you can't just be upset because of that one or two or few instances, where it didn't go your way. Just take it in and breathe it out and keep it moving. All right? Peace, love, and light.